Good evening. So just kind of a quick update as things are going on. So was scheduled to have the port in yesterday, and in preparation on the 10th, I had a PCR test, which came back positive. So it looks like the COVID case I got in September has rebounded, which I'm told is pretty normal for the Paxlovid antiviral I was on. Normal as in like 10 to 20% of cases maybe have a rebound case. So after much discussion with the surgeon and the anesthesiologists, we decided to proceed. So we did the surgery anyways, and it went well as far as I can tell. I don't remember a ton after, they put me under. But there was a lot of discussion with the doctors before we went in, going through all of my symptoms or lack thereof, and kind of what that might mean for surgery, and how that might impact my recovery. But the general consensus was I had mild symptoms, and it had been a long time since I had first tested positive, and that they weren't super concerned. So that was that. I decided to go in, and the only major change was they gave me an OR that was like tucked in a corner, so I guess it was far away from everybody else, and the surgery team were wearing like plastic hoods with like respirators and stuff, so it was like something kind of out of the movies. It's pretty amusing, but easy surgery, as we knew. The only kind of downside from the whole thing was there was a bit of miscommunication about my painkillers, so I didn't get any painkillers for last night, and I really wasn't in that much pain, but every time, and particularly my neck, and I'd like twist or whatever in bed, I'd wake myself up, so I basically didn't have any sleep last night. So other than that, everything was super smooth. And then I worked all today, which in hindsight was probably not the best call in the world, but it was good. It was a super productive day, some really good meetings. Felt great to kind of make sure everything is on a smooth course, because tomorrow morning is my first infusion. So starts bright and early, 7:50 a.m. for a short stay, which is where they'll take all my blood work and then meet with my oncologist, and then the infusion process itself is scheduled for about 4 hours. So it'll be 3 different chemo drugs plus an IV immunotherapy, and the course I'm getting is it's called GVD plus Pembro, where Pembro is the immunotherapy drug. So my understanding from the chemo teach, which wasn't super detailed in exactly how everything works, is that the chemo drugs themselves mostly prevent my cells from dividing, and then also cause cell death in kind of my lymphatic cells. Whereas the Pembro works kind of differently, and it targets much more specifically the cancer cells, and it kind of attaches itself to those cells and essentially sends out sort of a marker for my immune system that says, hey, come kill these cells, which is super interesting. And I'm sure it's wrong. I'm sure my understanding of this is super wrong, but that is kind of the best that I got right now. So the plan will be, I'll have the infusion tomorrow, and then another infusion a week from tomorrow, and then I'll have a week off, and then 2 more infusions 1 week apart, and then they'll do a PET scan to see if I'm in remission. Hopefully I will be in remission, and then I'll have a couple weeks off before going into the stem cell transplant process. If I am not in remission, then there'll be a third round, is my understanding, probably. And we'll kind of see how that goes, but hopefully it won't get to that point. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll take a lot longer than 4 hours, because it always takes a couple hours to get the medicine made, since it's all made on the spot. So I kind of expect to probably be finished, hopefully by around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And assuming that it's a similar process and feel as to last time, I'm sure I'll come home and try to go straight to bed. So this time around, it's supposed to be in some ways a little easier. These drugs are less nauseating, I guess, and also seem to cause less nerve damage in general, although there's still both nausea and potential nerve damage. So hopefully it won't be too bad, but this is certainly a more intense time period, you know, trying to do it over 40 days as opposed to 6 months. So certainly the beginning of chemo last time wasn't too bad for me, but by the 6th month, I was had really dragged me down a lot. So I kind of expect a much steeper curve this time, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe I won't bottom out quite as hard at the end of it. And if I do, then I hope that, you know, I can recover appropriately. So by the time you see this, I will probably already be in chemo or done with it. But that's kind of where I am right now. And kind of how I'm feeling about it is pretty good, honestly. My doctors seem very optimistic about the whole process, that it's a hard, dangerous process, but that it is effective, and that I am well positioned to handle it, you know, based on my lack of comorbidities and my age and stuff like that. So that's great. And then I'm feeling good about work stuff, that it's, you know, it's set up about as well as I can have it set up, so that my team can be successful. At least I hope, and that everything will, you know, proceed smoothly, or smoothly as it would if I was there, even though I won't be. So that's feeling pretty good. So right now, how I'm feeling is like, let's go. Let's get it over with. Let's get this process rolling. Ready to hit the ground running, which is a weird thing to say about chemo, I guess, but that's how it feels. So I'll let you know how it feels on the other side. I'm sure it will be I'll be in a very different place 24 hours or 48 hours from now. So, and maybe I'll also be in have a more realistic perspective of what and how things are, I guess. So we'll see. All right. So have a good night, everyone.